Welcome to Stayf Draws. I'm Stayf, a Dutch artist, and this is a painting of a street near my home. And I took a picture, I think 4 years ago, and I really found it very interesting to paint. But now, I take a lot of pictures, and I can show you the picture I took. The picture is taken at the end of the day, so there's not much light, and there's light um, from the lanterns outside, and there's also this light. And interesting thing, and what I wanted to achieve is, to paint snow, because usually snow is white, but now it has the reflections of the lanterns and also the reflection of the end of the day. So this is a very interesting, thing to study, and how snow reacts and how it falls onto trees. So I made this painting in Procreate using my Stayf Impress brushes, or it's called the Stayf Procreate Impressionistic Brushes, and they're available on my Gumroad. And I'm gonna do a lot more videos about painting in an impressionistic style, because I think that's really the basics of painting. So you really need to look at the different values of the colors. And I also painted this little robin, and you can hardly see it, but it's just a little detail of the painting. And I used several layers, but first I'm going to turn on the time lapse, and then I will come back to explain which layers I used. So to begin this painting, I first start out with a sketch and also a perspective grid. And this is a very loose sketch I'm doing. It's more about the colors than the correctness of the perspective. And I just jot down the first, big shapes, and don't go into much of a detail. And this is just the basics. It's on the first layer, and then on top of that sketch layer, I will fill in the bigger shapes and just to find the colors I see in the picture. And I start out with a darker tone because I'm gonna paint on top of it, because snow, especially this was the picture was taken at the end of the day, so there wasn't much light. So there was a little bit light of the sky, but also light from the lanterns in the street. So I just do very big strokes, and I just take a big brush, just lay down the big shapes and try not to go in too much detail, so to build up the colors. And this is a very interesting scene, because you have the warmth on the right from the house, and also the light that's or the lantern that's in front of the door of the house. And then you have a lot more cooler colors on the left in the snow. But it also shines a light from another house that's behind the tree, so you have more of a pink glow. So it's very interesting, to study, because with each painting I learn something new. And painting in winter is very interesting, to see the basic shapes of the tree. So what I first did was paint the outlines of the tree in black, and then lay the snow on top of it. And this is more an impressionistic way to paint. First do the total canvas and then use the colors as reference in your painting, because then you can, you know, really build it up. When you work from pictures, they're most of the time they're HDR, so the blacks are really black, but you know, in real life you don't have those extremes. So I try to keep it a little bit more light, so I'm not using total black. Now I'm painting a little robin, but you know, but the best way is not to zoom in too much, because you know, it is an impressionistic painting. So when you get too detailed, and this robin was a little bit too detailed because, you know, I just zoomed in and then painted the robin. But you know, most of the time it's best, you know, to keep your canvas at the same size, especially when you're doing impressionistic paintings. Otherwise you'll get too detailed and, you know, will lose yourself in the details. And last thing I did was add some snow. So this is the final painting, and I used different layers. This is my signature, and just gonna turn them off. And I started out with a very rough sketch, as you could see in the beginning of the video. Then on top I painted this layer. These were just the basic shapes and the basic colors. Then I made another layer and just painted a little bit more of a detail on top, because then you won't destroy, you know, the back painting, because the brush I used the most was the Stayf Oil Round, and when you paint with it, it also takes away some of the paint. It will smear the paint underneath. So it really reacts like a real wet oil brush. Then there's more detail, a separate layer for the little robin, and last thing I did was paint the snow. And I also used a layer which was set to multiply, and I'm just gonna only turn on that layer. And with that you can, you know, glaze or shade your drawing a little bit more. So when I turn them all on, you'll end up with this. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because each time I upload a new video, you get a notification. Drawing is fun, and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!